There's a question I wish every person over 60 would stop and ask themselves. If the human body is capable of living well past 100 years, why do so many of us begin acting like our life is already winding down? Why do we believe that aging must automatically mean decline, weakness, fogginess, forgetfulness, stiff joints, slow mornings, and shorter futures? After 20 years in clinical nutrition, after working with thousands of older adults, and after witnessing the extraordinary hidden potential inside the human body, I can tell you with full confidence that most people are aging far faster than they need to, and they are doing it because they don't know one simple truth. Longevity does not begin with fancy diets, rare herbs, expensive supplements, complicated routines, or magical ingredients. Longevity begins with understanding what is silently damaging you every day and using one powerful daily weapon to stop that damage before it steals years from your life. And the surprising thing is this: that weapon is not a pill, not a treatment, not a miracle cure, but a food so humble, so ordinary that most people walk past it in the grocery store without realizing they just ignored one of nature's most powerful medicines. Let me start with a bold statement. In the world of nutrition, there are thousands of so-called superfoods, and most of them are nothing more than marketing. Pretty colors, trending hashtags, exotic names, and promises that disappear the moment you actually look at the science. But there is one food that is different. One everyday food that researchers across Harvard, Tufts University, Oxford, and dozens of global health institutions consistently identify as one of the most protective foods for the aging brain, the aging heart, and the aging body. And I am not telling you this because it sounds nice. I'm telling you this because after reviewing hundreds of studies, after watching how this food behaves in the bloodstream, the brain, the arteries, and the cells themselves, I eat it every single day, without fail. Not because it is trendy, not because it tastes good, though it does. I eat it because it fights the two silent enemies that attack every human being past the age of 60. If you want to stay independent, if you want to keep your memory sharp, if you want to walk strongly, think clearly, breathe easily, and live longer without the heavy shadow of chronic disease, you must understand the nature of these two enemies. The first is something scientists now call inflammaging, a slow, chronic, toxic burn that spreads through your tissues as the decades pass. It stiffens your arteries, irritates your joints, slows your metabolism, disrupts your hormones, and clouds your thinking. You feel it as aches that weren't there before, as mornings that feel heavier, as joints that complain more loudly, as everyday tasks that suddenly require more effort. This inflammation is not dramatic or explosive. It is quiet, persistent, and destructive. It ages the body from the inside out. The second enemy is oxidative stress, often described as biological rust. Every time you breathe, every time you digest food, every time you experience stress, your cells release unstable molecules called free radicals. These free radicals collide with your tissues, your DNA, your neurons, and your arteries, causing microdamage that builds up over time. When you are young, your body can repair most of it. After 60, that repair system weakens and the rust accumulates faster than you can remove it. This is what makes the skin age, the muscles weaken, the memory fade, and the organs work less efficiently. It is not fate, it is chemistry. And chemistry can be changed. This is where the magic begins. To fight these two enemies, you do not need to swallow 30 pills. You do not need to chase miracle cures on the internet. What you need is one food that can extinguish the fire of inflammation and polish away the rust of oxidative stress at the same time. One food that travels through your bloodstream, crosses into your brain, targets the cells most vulnerable to aging, and strengthens them from the inside. Most foods cannot do this. Most antioxidants cannot cross the blood-brain barrier. Most nutrient compounds cannot reach the regions responsible for memory, coordination, concentration, and emotional balance. But the one food I eat every single day does exactly that. Before I reveal it, allow me to take you through the foods most people assume are the answer, because this journey matters. Many believe the key lies in fatty fish, like wild-caught salmon. And while salmon is extraordinary for your heart and brain, rich in omega-3 fatty acids and essential for reducing inflammation, it is not the daily food I rely on. I enjoy it several times a week, but salmon does not contain the specific compounds capable of entering and protecting the brain at the deepest level. Others assume walnuts must be the secret. And yes, walnuts are phenomenal for the heart and mind. Their shape even resembles a human brain. I eat a small handful on many days, but walnuts are calorie-dense, easy to overeat, and like salmon, they lack the single unique pigment that makes my daily food so powerful. Then people suggest leafy greens, spinach, kale, arugula. They are nutrient giants. They support bones, muscles, and blood pressure. But they also fall short of the one extraordinary requirement needed for serious longevity, the ability to cross the blood-brain barrier. So we move on. Olive oil, one of the healthiest fats on earth, a foundation of longevity diets everywhere. But again, not the one, because its strength lies in its fat composition, not in the highly targeted antioxidant compound we are looking for. Salmon, walnuts, greens, olive oil. These are all 10 out of 10 foods. But none of them are the daily weapon I trust above all others. Because the real answer is not large, not rare, not glamorous. It is small, dark, and severely underestimated. That food is blueberries. Most people hear this and assume I must be exaggerating. How can something so simple hold such extraordinary power? How can a berry, with no exotic name, no complicated chemistry, no expensive price tag, be the most scientifically supported food for brain aging and longevity? And the answer lies not in its size, but in its color. Because the deep blue-purple pigment of the blueberry is not decoration, it is a signature. A chemical signal from nature that this fruit contains one of the most potent classes of antioxidants known to science, anthocyanins. These pigments are rare, they are powerful, and unlike most antioxidants, they have the unique ability to pass through the blood-brain barrier and operate inside the mind itself. They hunt down oxidative stress, neutralizing those damaging free radicals before they strike essential brain tissue. They cool the fire of chronic inflammation, helping maintain clarity, sharpness, and cognitive resilience. And they do something many foods cannot. They support neuron-to-neuron communication, repairing the signaling pathways that keep the mind focused, stable, and alive. Blueberries are not simply a food. They are a biological defense system wrapped in a small sphere of dark, concentrated medicine. Their anthocyanins behave like microscopic guardians, entering the bloodstream, crossing into the brain, and performing a level of cellular maintenance that no vitamin bottle can match. They restore damaged pathways, support neuroplasticity, assist the brain's natural cleanup process, and help protect memory against the slow erosion caused by age. In my years of clinical work, I've seen older adults who complained of mental fog, poor recall, forgetfulness, difficulty focusing, and senior moments experience significant improvements after adopting one simple habit. 1 cup of blueberries a day. This is not wishful thinking. This is data. Harvard researchers followed tens of thousands of older adults and discovered something astonishing. Those who consumed blueberries regularly had slower rates of cognitive decline, the equivalent of up to 2.5 years of younger brain aging. Think about what that means. 2.5 years of memory preserved, 2.5 years of clarity saved, 2.5 years of independence protected simply because of a small, consistent habit. Tufts University researchers went even further. They showed that anthocyanins enhance neuron communication, repair weak signaling pathways, and even support the brain's glial system, the cleaning crew responsible for removing toxic waste that accumulates during the day. When this cleanup system weakens with age, memory problems rise. When it functions well, the brain stays sharper, more flexible, and more resilient. But the power of blueberries does not stop at the brain. One of the greatest risks we face after 60 is the gradual stiffening of our arteries. Blood vessels that were once flexible, responsive, and smooth begin to harden. This is not just aging, it is chemical and structural change at the deepest level of your vascular system. When your arteries lose elasticity, your blood pressure rises, your heart works harder, and the risk of stroke, heart attack, and circulatory problems increases dramatically. Yet buried inside blueberries is a remarkable family of compounds that directly supports the delicate lining of your blood vessels, something we call the endothelium. This thin inner layer behaves like a living organ. It expands, contracts, communicates, and controls blood flow. When it weakens, everything suffers. Blueberry polyphenols help the endothelium produce more nitric oxide, a miracle molecule that acts like nature's own blood pressure regulator. Nitric oxide dilates your vessels, allowing blood to flow more freely. When blood flows smoothly, pressure drops. When pressure drops, the heart relaxes. This single effect, improved nitric oxide, is one of the most powerful anti-aging mechanisms we have. It is the difference between stiff pipes and flexible rivers, the difference between pressure and ease, the difference between organ strain and organ protection. Studies show that blueberry intake can significantly support endothelial function even in older adults whose blood vessels have already begun to stiffen. This is not prevention, this is correction. But let me share something deeper, something many people never hear. When you reach your 60s, 70s, and 80s, your cells face battles they never faced in your 20s. Every system, muscular, cognitive, cardiovascular, digestive, is now dealing with decades of cumulative wear. And while many foods support one or two systems, blueberries uniquely support all three of your most vital aging pillars at once: brain longevity, heart protection, inflammation control. This tri-level defense is what makes blueberries not just a food, but a daily longevity requirement. And yet, this is where most people unknowingly make a mistake that reduces the power of this food by up to 50%. It happens at the supermarket. It happens because of one single word that appears on a plastic container: fresh. You see, people assume fresh blueberries are best. They look premium, natural, vibrant. But what most consumers don't realize is that those berries labeled fresh were often picked weeks ago, sometimes months ago, and stored, shipped, refrigerated, handled, and rehandled before ever reaching your kitchen. And during all that time, the anthocyanins, the very compounds we need, begin to degrade. Light, air, and time weaken them. They lose potency. Their concentration drops. The berry that reaches your bowl may still look firm and beautiful, but on a molecular level, it is no longer the nutritional powerhouse it was the day it was harvested. Now here is the part that frustrates me as a nutritionist. Blueberries are also one of the fruits most exposed to pesticides. Their thin skin allows residue to penetrate easily. While washing helps, it does not remove everything. Many older adults eat blueberries for health, unaware that they may also be taking in harmful residues at the same time. That's not what you deserve. You deserve purity. Potency, protection, not contamination. So what is the solution? It is surprisingly simple and backed by powerful science. Frozen wild blueberries. The moment I discovered the truth about frozen versus fresh, I never looked back. Frozen blueberries are picked at peak ripeness when their antioxidant levels are highest and then flash frozen within hours. This rapid freezing locks in the anthocyanins, preserving the pigments, stabilizing the nutrients, and protecting the berry from oxidation. The result is remarkable. Frozen blueberries often contain more active antioxidants than the fresh ones sitting in the produce aisle. And when you choose wild blueberries, the benefits are doubled. Wild blueberries grow under natural stress, rough climates, tough weather, and challenging soil. Plants produce more antioxidants when they must defend themselves. That is why wild blueberries can have twice the antioxidant concentration of cultivated ones. Smaller berries, darker pigment, higher potency, greater longevity power. Now let me give you something even more interesting, something most people never consider. During freezing, tiny ice crystals form inside the berry and break down the cell walls. This makes the anthocyanins even more bioavailable, meaning your body can absorb more of them with less digestive effort. Frozen berries are not a compromise. They are a biochemical advantage. But all of this only matters if you actually adopt the habit. So let me give you the exact method I recommend to my older patients, family members, and even my colleagues in the health field. My routine is simple, fast, and takes no more than 30 seconds. Every single day, without mistake, I take 1 cup of frozen wild blueberries, roughly 140 grams. Some days I toss them directly into a blender with healthy fats like avocado, Greek yogurt, chia seeds, or a tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil. Because fats help the body absorb antioxidants even better. Other days I simply eat them frozen by the handful. They taste like cold candy, refreshing and satisfying. What matters is consistency, not perfection. You can add them to overnight oats, smoothies, yogurt bowls, or eat them alone, but avoid long, high-heat cooking. Heat can break down anthocyanins. Keep it cold, keep it simple, keep it daily. Now, before moving forward, let me give my essential medical caution. This information is educational, not medical advice. Blueberries are extremely safe for almost everyone, but there are two exceptions that require a conversation with your primary clinician. That you will not sit back and let inflammation, oxidative stress, and daily wear silently steal years from your life. You deserve better. You deserve strength, clarity, energy, and peace. And your journey begins with one simple step. Start tomorrow morning. Go to your freezer, take out 1 cup of wild blueberries, and begin the habit that thousands of seniors around the world are using to protect their mind, their heart, and their independence. And if this video inspired you, then please, tap the like button, subscribe to Golden Wisdom, and share this message with someone you love. You never know whose life you might protect just by sharing knowledge. And next week, I will reveal something equally powerful. The one drink I have every night that dramatically improves deep sleep and restores your body while you rest. Stay healthy, stay strong, and stay wise.